Hi guys, this is Mrs. Hain. I will be reading your Chapter 3 and 4 assessment on genetics to you today. A couple of things before we get started. Make sure you put your last name, first name, and mark the hour in which you have Mr. O'Boyle on your test. Also, remember, if I'm going too fast, you can hit pause at any time. And if you need to hear a question and answer again, you can go back in the video and re-listen to it. So let's get started. Question number 1. In the genotype R, lowercase r represents the dominant gene. True or false? Number 2. What is the purpose of selective breeding? To produce organisms with desirable traits, or to produce a weaker strain of an organism? Number 3. An organism that has genes that are different for a trait is called a hybrid. True or false? Number 4. What does the X and Y chromosome determine? Height, gender, favorite color preference, or eye color? Number 5. The process of meiosis produces reproduction cells. True or false? Number 6. Mutations almost always improve chances of survival for an organism. True or false? Number 7. The possibility that an event may or may not take place is known as probability. True or false? Number 8. What is a benefit to inbreeding? To produce animals for food, or to produce animals with specific desirable traits? Number 9. Inbreeding increases the chances that offspring will what? Inherit superpowers, better traits which would be unfair to other organisms, or genetic disorders? Number 10. Hybrid plants and animals often have beneficial qualities from both species, are often sterile and cannot reproduce, both A and B, or hybrid plants and animals do not exist. Number 11. Gregor Mendel is a geneticist famous for charting the Human Genome Project. True or false? Number 12. The study of the passing of characteristics from one organism to its offspring is microbiology, ecology, genetics, or botany? Number 13. The factors or units of heredity which produce traits are triplets, hybrids, mutations, or genes? Number 14. The basic substance of heredity is cytosine, midichlorians, DNA, or guanine? Number 15. When the genes in a gene pair are identical, the organism is said to be hemophilic, purebred, hybrid, or non-functioning? Number 16. The process by which all cells, except reproduction cells, are formed is known as meiosis, replication, incomplete dominance, or mitosis. Number 17. The condition that is caused by non-disjunction of the 21st chromosome pair is Down syndrome, sickle cell anemia, or color blindness. Number 18. The crossing of plants or animals that have desirable characteristics is called hybrid vigor, recombinant DNA, selective breeding, or interferon. Number 19. Each parent contributes how many factors to each trait? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Number 20. If you were to cross plant A with capital A, lowercase a traits with plant B with capital A, lowercase a traits, what is the probability the offspring would exhibit genotype lowercase a? 25%, 33%, 50%, or 75%. So for this one, you might want to make a Punnett square. So if you were to cross plant A, which has capital A, lowercase a traits, with plant B, which has capital A, lowercase traits, what's the probability that the offspring would have lowercase a? Number 21. You have a boy for your first child, a boy for your second child. What is the likelihood that your third child will be a boy? 25%, 33%, 50%, or 75%? A Punnett square might work for this one too. Number 22. Genes are carried from the parent generation to the next generation on mitosis, meiosis, chromosomes, or mutations. Number 23. What is the purpose of genetic engineering? Genetic engineering can be an advanced method for ensuring offspring have certain desirable traits. Genetic engineering can be used to produce pest-resistant food varieties. Genetic engineering can be used to produce better-tasting food. Genetic engineering can be used to produce greater quantities of food, or all of the answers combined. Number 24. Humans have how many chromosomes within a normal body cell? 32, 46, 28, or 92? Number 25. Which chromosome number is considered the sex chromosome because it determines gender? 18, 23, 32, or 54? Number 26. Morgan described female and male sex-linked traits with letters. Which two letters represent a female? XX, XY, or ZR? Number 27. The DNA structure looks like a nook and cranny, scrambled eggs, letters, or a twisted ladder. Number 28. What would be the benefit of selective breeding? Being able to choose desirable traits, losing the randomness of producing offspring with no rhyme or reason, having unrealistic expectations because you have selectively bred something for a purpose and if it doesn't perform the way it should. What is selective breeding? Number 29. How is a dominant trait represented when using letters? Dominant traits are represented by using an uppercase letter. Dominant traits are represented by using a lowercase letter. Dominant traits are represented by using numbers and number sequences, or dominant traits do not exist. Number 30. Who was the first scientist to recognize the principles of probability in the field of genetics? Albert Einstein, Isaac Newton, Harry Carey, or Gregor Mendel? Number 31. Why do scientists use Punnett squares? Because they're fun and cool, because they give students something to puzzle over, or to show all the possible outcomes of a genetic cross and percent probability of occurrence. Number 32. What does a plant's phenotype determine? Physical appearance or genetic makeup? Number 33. What does a plant's genotype determine? Physical appearance or genetic makeup? Number 34. Why are males more likely than females to have sex-linked traits controlled by recessive alleles? It is part of a curse put on males from long ago. Males have an X and a Y, so any trait expressed on those chromosomes are exhibited. Females have two X's, so they would need to inherit two recessive alleles for a trait to be exhibited, or females actually have more sex-linked traits controlled by recessive alleles. Number 35. Why would someone want to set up a pedigree? To see the chances of passing on a genetic disorder, to ensure bloodlines will not cross, to make sure first cousins aren't breeding, to help predict desirable traits, or all of the above. That's the end of the test. If you need to go back and re-listen to the test, you can. If you need to re-listen to any questions, you can also do that before you hit submit.